Nobody inside NASCAR expected Joey Logano to react like this, because for years, Joey Logano and Kyle Busch were one of the fiercest rivalries in the entire sport. They fought on the track, argued publicly, and pushed each other harder than almost anyone else in NASCAR history. But now, after the shocking death of Kyle Busch at just 41 years old, Joey Logano is finally speaking out. And what he said has left the entire NASCAR world emotional. According to Joey, he was completely shell-shocked when he heard the news. He said it still doesn't feel real knowing Kyle Busch was racing only days ago, and now suddenly, he's gone. But what exactly did Joey Logano reveal? How emotional did things get? And why are NASCAR fans saying this proves just how massive Kyle Busch's impact really was? We're breaking down everything Joey Logano said, and why this moment is hitting NASCAR harder than anyone expected. But before we jump in, if you love NASCAR stories, breaking news, and emotional moments from inside the garage, make sure to subscribe to NASCAR Nation News. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, and every single subscriber seriously helps the channel. Now let's get into this. The moment news started spreading about Kyle Busch's death, the entire NASCAR garage instantly changed. Drivers, teams, fans, even longtime rivals, nobody could believe it. And one of the biggest reasons the reaction became so emotional is because Kyle Busch wasn't some retired legend from years ago. He was still active, still competing, still fighting every weekend. That's what made this feel so shocking to everyone around the sport. One day, Kyle Busch is preparing for another NASCAR weekend, and then suddenly, the entire garage is hearing devastating news that nobody was prepared for. Joey Logano admitted that processing all of this has been extremely difficult. He explained that Kyle Busch wasn't just another competitor. He called him one of the greatest drivers NASCAR has ever seen. And honestly, hearing that from Joey Logano says a lot. Because these two drivers spent years battling each other. Fans remember all the tension, the aggressive racing, the heated moments after races. There were times when Joey Logano and Kyle Busch genuinely looked like they couldn't stand each other. But that rivalry also created respect. A very deep respect. Joey explained that Kyle Busch forced everyone around him to become better. Every single week, drivers knew if they wanted to win, they had to beat Kyle Busch. And that was never easy. Kyle wasn't just talented, he was relentless. He could drive anything. Cup cars, Xfinity cars, trucks, it didn't matter. When Kyle Busch showed up, everybody knew he was a threat to win. And Joey Logano admitted that NASCAR may never truly replace a personality like that again, because Kyle Busch brought something unique to the sport. Some fans loved him. Some fans hated him. But everybody watched him. That's what made him special. Kyle Busch had this larger-than-life presence that completely changed the energy of NASCAR every single weekend. If Kyle was in the race, people paid attention. And according to Joey Logano, the garage already feels different without him there. That's the part that really hit fans emotionally. Joey described the atmosphere inside NASCAR right now as heartbreaking, because drivers are still trying to accept the reality of everything. Imagine competing against someone for years, seeing them every race weekend, battling them constantly, and then suddenly, they're just gone. That's not easy for anyone to process, especially in a sport where drivers spend so much time together traveling across the country every week. And even though Joey and Kyle had their rivalry moments, Joey made it clear there was always respect underneath all of it. In fact, some NASCAR fans are now revisiting old Joey Logano and Kyle Busch moments differently after hearing Joey's emotional comments. Because rivalries are part of what makes NASCAR special. But rivalries also create bonds people outside the sport sometimes don't fully understand. These drivers compete aggressively against each other, but they also understand the pressure, the sacrifices, and the intensity better than almost anyone else. That's why this loss is affecting the garage so deeply. Joey Logano also spoke about Kyle Busch's family during his emotional message. He sent prayers to Kyle's wife, his children, and everyone close to the Busch family. And according to Joey, the entire NASCAR community is standing behind them right now. That part really showed fans that this goes way beyond racing. Because at the end of the day, before championships, before rivalries, before controversies, these are real people with real families. And hearing Joey Logano speak this emotionally about Kyle Busch honestly caught a lot of NASCAR fans by surprise, especially because Joey usually stays very composed publicly. But this situation clearly affected him deeply. Social media immediately exploded after Joey's comments started circulating online. Many NASCAR fans said his reaction made the entire tragedy feel even more real. Others pointed out how powerful it was hearing one fierce competitor speak so respectfully about another. And honestly, that may become one of the lasting memories from this entire heartbreaking situation. Not the arguments, not the rivalries, not the controversies, but the respect. The respect Kyle Busch earned from the people who competed against him every single week. Because drivers know how hard it is to accomplish what Kyle Busch accomplished in NASCAR. The wins, the championships, the pressure, the consistency. Very few drivers in history reached that level, and Joey Logano openly admitted that. He said Kyle Busch pushed NASCAR forward simply by being who he was: aggressive, fearless, competitive, emotional. Kyle Busch never pretended to be somebody else. And whether fans loved that or hated it, it made him unforgettable. Right now, NASCAR fans are still trying to process everything. The garage feels emotional, the fan base feels emotional, and drivers are still reacting in shock. But Joey Logano's message may have captured the feeling of the entire sport better than anybody else so far. Because even after years of battles with Kyle Busch, Joey still sounded heartbroken. And maybe that says everything people need to know about how massive this loss feels inside NASCAR. But now I want to hear from you. What was your favorite Kyle Busch moment ever? And were you surprised by Joey Logano's emotional reaction? Comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for NASCAR Nation news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.